On the news this morning, HN City of Onitsha rolls out drums as Obi of Onitsha celebrates 2024 Ofala. Deputy Governor Bezim charges Oseke family to keep legacies of Sahaford alive. CBN affirms indefinite validity of old Naira notes. On the foreign scene, Indian City of Onitsha risks flood as Cyclone Dana hits. Hello, beautiful morning to you and welcome to Breakfast News at 8. I am David Opopasele. We begin from Onitsha, where, guided by the prevailing hardship in the country, the Obi of Onitsha, Igwe Nnaemeka Achebe, has encouraged Nigerians to wade through these hard times with courage, perseverance, and self-reliance. Igwe Achebe gave the encouragement in his speech during his 23rd Ofala Festival held at Imo Obioka Road, Onitsha. Emengino Sadebe reports that the 2024 Ofala Festival with the theme Onyekwe Chiekwe was sponsored by the first indigenous mobile telecommunication network, Globacom Limited. We bring you to this story.
Igwe Achebe, accompanied by members of his cabinet, Obi in council, members of Abalanze and Otuodo societies, Umuada and Ndi Borobwe, regretted that the living standard of the people has declined drastically, resulting to hopelessness and lack of trust in the government, calling on President Bola Tinubu to urgently convene a non-partisan National Economic and Security Summit to forge a collective way forward for the country. Others who congratulated Igwe Achebe and Ndi Onitsha for their consistency in celebrating Ofala Festival annually include State Commissioner for Youth Development, Mr. Patrick Ayamba, his culture and tourism counterpart, Comrade Don Onyenji, Chairman Onitsha North Local Government Area, Mr. Tony Nwora, former member representing Onitsha North 1 in the State House of Assembly, Barrister Chugbo Enwezo, member representing Onitsha North and South Federal Constituency, Honorable Emeka Idu, among others. Speaking to the ABS in an interview, the South Divisional Head Globacom Limited, Mr. Okechukwu Tochukwu, said Globacom, an indigenous telecommunication company, believed in uplifting the people's culture and tradition, thereby identifying with their own, enumerating series of Ofala packages of their brand for their customers and promised them better services. Highlights include Royal Dance by Igwe Achebe and Ndi Onitsha.
We believe in uplifting our culture and tourism, and it's just also a way to project our culture to the world.
From Imo Obioka Road, Emengino Sadebe, ABS News.
Meanwhile, one of the major high points of the 2024 Ofala Onitsha Festival is the Azofala, where various age grades in Onitsha came to pay homage to their king, Obi of Onitsha, Igwe Nnaemeka Achebe. Again, correspondent Emengino Sadebe reports that the event featured over 20 age grades in Onitsha, both at home, both old and new.
Azofala Festival, also a carnival of sorts, comes on the second day of the festival and aims at giving the indigenes the privilege to appreciate and interact with their monarch and showcase their dancing abilities that serve as a competition among the age grades sponsored by Globacom Limited. Speaking to the ABS, the President of Otuodo Society of Onitsha, Lady Florence Osoka, and Mrs. Chika Ibeneme congratulated Obi of Onitsha and the entire community for a successful outing, praying God to grant him many more Ofala festivals. A guest at the event, Chief Charles Odunukwe, who expressed joy for being part of the epoch-making event, commended Onitsha people for sustaining their culture while calling on the state government to make the Ofala Festival a tourist attraction. The President Ngoli age grade that came first in their category, Mr. Eloka Ebunike, and a member of the group, Barrister Ejiofe Umbebogu, attributed their win to hard work.
Living on it now, the Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Onyeka Bezim, has charged the family of the late Sahaford Oseke of Enugu Village, Umuawolo, in Oka South Local Government Area to immortalize him by keeping his legacies alive. The Deputy Governor gave the charge during the burial ceremony of Sahaford, who was the Deputy Speaker of the 6th Anambra State House of Assembly. Our correspondent, Chuemeka Modelem, has the rest of the story.
According to the Deputy Governor, late Oseke was a dedicated party man who contributed to the development of Anambra State. On his part, the Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Pauli Onyeka, described the late Sir Harford as an icon of hope for the youth and upcoming politicians, and a peacemaker whose likeness for all was unequaled. Speaking on behalf of the family of the deceased, his first son, Mr. Ken Oseke, thanked God that his father died a fulfilled man and assured that he will keep his legacy alive by living with his ideals and principles.
I just build on what he has built. He has already laid a foundation for us. So we'll carry on from there. And that's the promise I made to him.
Paul said,
from Umuawulu, Chukwuemeka Modelem, ABS News.
The chairman of the panel of inquiry into the Ogbuaniocha community crisis, Justice Chinyere Anibogu, has called on parties involved in the crisis to be truthful before the panel and to be guided by brotherly love and fear of God to bring to fruition the target of the Anambra state government, which is to restore peace and harmony to the community in no distant time. Justice Anibogu made the call at the government house in Awka during the first public hearing of the panel with the people of Ogbuaniocha community in Obaru local government area of Anambra State. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Okonkwo, filed the report.
The panel chairman asked members of the community to avoid any act that will further cause chaos in Ogbuaniocha now that the state government has welded into the matter to ensure that justice prevails and normalcy restored in the area, warning that the government will not take it lightly with such individuals or group.
You are here to tell the government what is bothering you and why your community cannot be at peace, so that we will find ways, join hands with you to find ways of restoring peace to that community. We cannot do that if you do not guarantee your own safety first, your own peace and harmony first, and then peace and safety and security of whoever or whatever member of this team or this team as a body that will assign to visit your community.
Among the terms of reference of the panel of inquiry, determination to assess the impact of the dispute and violence on individuals within the community, including loss of lives, displacements, injuries, economic implications, amongst others, and to provide real and implementable solutions to the state government geared towards reconciliation, rehabilitation, and resettlement of various parties in the community.
The Central Bank of Nigeria says it does not intend to discontinue the circulation of the old series of the 200 Naira, 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira banknotes by December 31, 2024. The Central Bank's clarification came on a day the House of Representatives called on the Apex Bank to increase issuance of the newer 200 Naira, 500 Naira, 1,000 Naira denominations and commence the phase-out of the old notes from circulation before the December 31, 2024 deadline for their discontinuation. The House had also urged the Apex Bank to order commercial banks to immediately stop cash payment of to their customers with the old 200 Naira, 500 Naira, 1,000 Naira notes, as well as engage in gradual mopping up of the old notes. The resolution of the lower chamber, which was moved at plenary by Honorable Afam Ogene, followed the adoption of a motion of urgent national importance on the need for the CBN to sensitize Nigerians about the non-legal tender status of the old Naira notes from January 1, 2025. Mr. Ogene expressed worry that the CBN had not shown any sign of sensitization or kickstarted any awareness program to remind Nigerians about this important economic policy in order to make them prepare for the deadline of December 31, 2024. However, the CBN, in a statement issued by its acting director, Corporate Communications Department, Mrs. Sidi Ali Hakama, says such claims by the House are false and circulated to disrupt the country's payment system. For the avoidance of doubt, the CBN maintained that the order of the Supreme Court on Wednesday, November 29, 2023, which granted the prayer of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to extend the use of old Naira banknotes ad infinitum, remains in force. On the foreign scene, reports say Cyclone Dana uprooted trees and power lines after making landfall on Indian eastern coast. The authorities also warned of heavy rainfall and intense winds. At least 1.1 million people in the states of Odisha and West Bengal were relocated to storm shelters, the AFP news agency reported, before the cyclone's landfall after midnight last night, with maximum sustained winds of about 110 kilometers per hour and gusts up to 120 kilometers per hour. As of mid-morning today, Dana was moving inland over the northern coast of Odisha, and the Indian Meteorological Department announced it is expected to weaken gradually into a depression in the next 6 hours. No deaths have been reported so far. Odisha Chief Minister Mohan Charan Maji was quoted by The Telegraph newspaper as saying, district officials Siddharth Swain told newsmen that the storm had left a trail of destruction in the coastal town of Puri. Dana also flooded parts of the coast after triggering a surge in sea levels of up to 1.15 meters feet. And then in sports, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has published a list of nominees for the 2024 awards. The event will be held December 16, 2024 in Marrakesh, Morocco. In a statement from CAF, the period under review is January 2024 and October 2024. There are 10 players nominated in each category. South Africa's goalkeeper Rowan Williams is nominated in all 3 categories: Player of the Year, CAF Goalkeeper of the Year, and CAF Interclub Player of the Year, as well as Nigerian Ademola Lookman. The winners will be determined through votes from a diverse panel, which includes the CAF Technical Committee, media professionals, and the head coaches and captains of member associations, as well as clubs participating in the group stages of interclub competitions. The list of nominees for the women's category will be announced shortly. Late Chief Lawrence Nwakamma Onwebuchunam has been laid to rest at Ezeke Village, Ojotono, in Idemili South local government area. Aged 85, Pa Onwebuchunam was the father of Mrs. Adobiade of Programs Department of Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS. Our correspondent, Odinaka Nwolisa, brings us the details.
Delivering a homely funeral mass held in his honor, Reverend Father Jude Uchebusi encouraged Christians to rekindle faith in the resurrection power of Jesus Christ and explained that death is the end to mortality and gateway to new life, eulogizing the virtues of their late father, Mrs. Adobe, and her brother, Mr. Lawrence Onwebuchunam Jr., acknowledged their father as a great man who stood for the truth at all times. In her condolence message, the head of station ABS on the Mrs. Ifomudechu, who spoke on behalf of the management of the station, said that Adobe is a seasoned broadcaster whose impact has contributed to the upliftment of the station.
My father has always been a man of integrity, and I love that. He stands on his words. He doesn't look at anybody. Once he's on the path of truth, and it's something I love so much about him, which I will continually emulate.
My father was an honest man. My father was a hard-working man, a man that is fearless, a man of courage. He spoke his mind. He's fearless. That's why he has both champions and detractors. So these are the qualities and the traits we learned from our dad.
Condolence messages by groups featured at the burial. From Ojoto, Odinaka Nwolisa, ABS News.
Remember, you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at Anambra Broadcasting Service. Follow us on YouTube at ABS Television Oka. You can follow us on X and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Before we go, here are the main points. Again, we told you that the ancient city of Onitsha rolled out the drums as Obio of Onitsha celebrates his 2024 Fala Festival. We also told you that the Deputy Governor of Anambra State has charged the Oseke family to keep the legacies of former Deputy Speaker Sir Harford alive. On the national scene, CBN has affirmed indefinite validity of old Naira notes as India's city of Odisha has faced flood risk as Cyclone Dana hits. And that's the news this morning. Thanks for joining us. I am David Okbokwasile.